After you add all the basic information, you need to add income. We need a W-2. In order for us to add a W-2 on the system, we have to come to the tree form. We have add to add a form, the plus sign to add a form, the minus sign to remove or delete a form. Or if we want to print any of these forms, you can select the form and then we print. We can email. This is new. This to measure, sometime a question might start right here and the question go all the way to this to the side right here, which is sometime, by the time you finish reading, you already missed the question because that's question that have like A, B, and C different options. So let's add a W-2 for this client. W-2, let's say if it was a 1099, 1099. Okay, and then we'll go from the list right here. So let's put a W-2. W-2, okay? The W-2 look exactly the same. The same way you see a W-2 presented on paper is the same exact thing, okay? So the very first thing we have to make sure, let's say we have two people on the tax, so now it's only one person. This button is not red. It's not asking you to select taxpayer because the system already knows there's only one person. It is the taxpayer. So now we have John Doe, employee name John Doe. It's asking us check to see if this W-2 is handwritten or altered or appeared not to be true. If in a case like that, we would never even start the tax return. So we're never gonna answer that question. Okay, check here if this taxpayer, if this is the taxpayer address shown on the W-2. This address at all time, which is the taxpayer main address, must be shown on the W-2. Okay, if it's not on the W-2, if the address that's on the W-2 is different, then you have to hit this button to change this address to add the exact address that's on the W-2. All right. Now we're gonna go down. We need employer ID, which is EIN. Okay. We need the EIN for the business that issued the W-2. You don't have to touch this, the control number. Once you start adding information, it's gonna fill this part automatically. Okay, we need an EIN. Let's say we add this EIN. It's Medical Center. The name of the company is Medical Center. Okay. You see the name code. Remember, this button was red, but you cannot change anything here. You must enter the name first so it can pick up the name code. All right, let's change that back to Uber. All right, so now we're gonna enter wages. Let me show you guys a W-2 so I don't confuse you. As you guys can see here, it's the same exact thing, right? Employee Social Security. Right here, line B, employer identification, EIN. Okay, employer name and address. Control number. They have one employee name. Okay, the employee name is going to show here with the address. You can make sure that it's the same address as you have listed on the main information sheet. Okay, you have line 1, which is wages, tips, and other compensation. You have line 2, federal income tax withheld. Once you enter the wages and other compensation, and then you add the information for federal income tax withheld, Social Security wages, Medicare wages, and tips, Social Security tips is going to automatically populate in the system. You don't have to touch these 3 lines, Social Security wages, unless what's being shown in the system is different from the W-2. Okay, so if it's different from the W-2, you can correct that in the system. You have line 13. You have line 13. Statutory employee retirement plan. You have third-party sick pay. You have line 12. Where's line 12? Line 12. Line 12. Line 12 is look at 12. Line 12. There's always going to be something there. Not always, but always check to see if there is information on line 12. Okay, because that can affect the tax. You know, if you just make sure everything that's in these boxes are filled in the system as well. This year, you're gonna see for no tax on overtime. Line 14 is gonna say that OT premium overtime, qualified premium overtime, gonna report on line 14 on the W-2. We're gonna move forward with line 15. If they in a state where they collect state tax, line 15, employer state ID number, state wages, tips, state income tax, and so on. All that is being reported on the W-2. So let's go back to the system for the W-2. Let's say they work for $25,699 and they pay good taxes. Let's say they pay, then they're in the 10% tax bracket, actually 12% tax bracket. Let's say they pay 2,100 in federal income tax. All right, so now you see they already at $7,756. Right? So now let's say they have information here for OT premium over time. Okay, you add this much for overtime. See, there's no changes. So after we done here, if they have the state information like New York, I just add it. You know, I just add all the information for the state, whatever you see on the W-2. Come all the way down to instruction for W-2. Instruction for W-2. A lot of people miss this part because we always had that, but the questions are different now. So we have non-taxable combat pay. Okay. If they do have that, you're gonna enter the amount here. Qualified tip for no tax on tips. If they have no tax on tips, if they have tips, you're gonna enter here. If they have overtime compensation for no tax on overtime, you're gonna enter here. Okay, basically it's the same information. Let's say they have 6,500 in overtime. All right, let's put it here. Davidson, Maine. Okay. You see, once we enter that information in the system, it automatically populate form schedule 1A, page 1. In page 2, what is form schedule 1A? It's part of the big beautiful bill. We didn't have that before. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. If you purchase a brand new car, you know, no tax on interest. That's what it is. So schedule 1A, page 1, you see the overtime that we just reported. It was calculated, qualified overtime compensation deduction, $6,599. Okay, so we have satisfied the knowledge requirement in the retention requirement for this category. Let's go to page 2. If they have no tax on car loan, vehicle identification number right here, and then the amount. Okay, the car must be assembled in the United States. Okay, the vehicle must be assembled in the United States. If they are a senior, automatically they were born, you know, between January 2nd, 1961, they get $6,000 automatically deduction. Okay, that's it